If you're starting out with Lenormand, or even if you'd been reading for a while, you might wonder what is the best way to practice so that you actually grow with Lenormand. So in this video, I want to give you some tips and suggestions so that you feel like you're making actual tangible progress in your practice. Hi everyone, I'm Leila, the Lenormand reader, and I've been reading Lenormand almost exclusively for over 20 years. If you want to master Lenormand, you have come to the right place. Please subscribe and hit the bell button so that you get videos about all things Lenormand. I do forecasts and tutorials every week. When we discover Lenormand, we usually get all excited about it and we want to dive in. I know, I've been there. But usually we don't have much of a clue what to do. We might start getting a sense of what the card meanings are, and then we start doing readings. And I think that is just fine, because really the best way to learn is to just do. But sooner or later, we start to get bogged down with the details. We might not know how to interpret certain card combinations. We might not know how to go into longer lines. And we might also feel like we're not getting genuine insights from our readings. So I want to give you some tips and suggestions so that you feel like you're making actual tangible progress with Lenormand. The obvious first step is to get to know the card meanings. Look up the card meanings in your book or the guide that comes with the cards and get a sense of what each card means. It might be a list of keywords or just a few short sentences about what the card means. I have a free resource that you can download right away to go through the card keywords. Why not have a look through? At this stage, I want to discourage you from having too many books and resources. One of the issues we have as aspiring Lenormand readers is that the Lenormand world is a little bit all over the place. So there are a lot of resources scattered all over the internet, and there could be a really wide range of meaning between different authors. Generally, we agree on the meaning of the cards, but there are quite a few that, different authors have different takes on. So from the outset, I want you to avoid confusion, and I want you to focus just on a few resources that you're going to use as a basis for your own meanings. And then later on, you can always go back and refine your understanding of the cards. The second tip that I have for you is to come up with your own card meanings. Once you've gone through the card meanings and have a general understanding of what they're about, you might want to revisit these keywords or these meanings and refine them in a way that aligns with you better. I'm not saying you have to necessarily replace the card meanings of the first set that you went through. You might for some cards, but really to choose the keywords that you think best represents the card and the card essence, and also add keywords that you think are relevant for you and that you feel resonate with the meaning of the card. One technique that you might find helpful here is mind mapping. Mind mapping is a popular brainstorming technique whereby you write a concept in the center of a page, and from there you branch out with a whole lot of different ideas. And the branches also branch out in turn to more ideas. So this way you can use a piece of paper, putting pen to paper, to sort of brainstorm what meanings you can associate with a card. Now, I'm not saying you have to use all of the keywords that you come up with as meanings for the card, but you might select the main ones that you feel best resonate with the card. This is just an exercise that you can use so that you can sort of train your imagination and your interpretation skills. I also have a card keywords template that you can download for free and fill in with your own card keywords. And I want to say that developing your own card meanings is a really precious step in your Lenormand journey, because this is the beginning of your personal journey with the cards. This is the beginning of creating a personal relationship with the cards. So this is an important first step, and I think you should spend quite a bit of time building your own Lenormand vocabulary. The third tip that I have for you is to immediately start doing readings. You don't have to do big readings, and chances are if you try, you're going to be intimidated and you're not really going to be able to interpret anything. So start with one card readings. Now, a lot of readers start off with general daily reading, and that's fine, but I have to tell you that open-ended readings with Lenormand's cards can be a little bit tricky. And that's because Lenormand's cards can be interpreted for any context. And so at first, you might not be able to understand what context you need to interpret the cards for. So I suggest that it's best that you do readings asking a specific question, because what that will do is it will box the reading. It will sort of create boundaries within which you can interpret the cards. That is my suggestion. So go ahead and ask a whole bunch of questions and pull out one card for each question and see what answer you can offer based on the meaning of the card to answer that specific question. The next step is to go beyond one-card readings. I'm pretty sure you're going to get very quickly bored with just one card. And also, what you're probably going to pick up is that one card is not really enough to answer questions. That is not surprising, and that is pretty normal with Lenormand. And the reason is because a lot of Lenormand cards are neutral cards that just represent a topic. They don't really tell you how good or how bad something is or what exactly is going on. In Lenormand, you usually need a few cards to come up with a meaning. So if you're feeling like your one card is not telling you much, that is probably a good sign that you're understanding the cards a bit better and you're ready to move on to 2 or 3 or more card readings. Now, a lot of people like the 3-card reading. It is a balancing thing about an odd number of cards, and that is totally fine. But I also want to suggest that you try your hand at 2-card readings. And that's because card combinations in pairs is really the basis for all card combining in Lenormand. So it's really an opportunity to move on to the next level from the card meaning of a single card to the card combination meanings of pairs. So again, as with one-card readings, ask a whole bunch of questions and then answer them this time with 2 cards and see how you're going to combine the cards and interpret them to answer the question. Card combining is the cornerstone of the Lenormand practice. You know that you are an awesome Lenormand reader when you can interpret card combinations for any context. That is the goal. So do spend some time reading 2 card combinations and remember to take notes. Card combinations are a big topic. We'll get to it another time in other videos, but I do have a blog post that you can read right away about card combining. You might find it helpful at this stage. If you struggle with Lenormand's card meanings and card combinations, please leave me a comment below and tell me what exactly you're struggling with. I would really like to know what your experience is like. Now, the next step is to move on to 3-card readings. Now, this can start to become exciting because it's going to feel like you are stringing cards into a sentence. Now, 3-card readings are pretty simple if you can do 2-card readings. So you would combine the 2-card pairs. You would have cards 1 and 2 combined into a certain meaning, and then cards 2 and 3 combined into another meaning. And you put these keywords together and you see what you come up with. Again, it always helps to have a question or some kind of context so that you can frame the cards and interpret them in that context. But you might also try your hand at open-ended readings at this stage. The 3 cards don't have to represent one whole meaning. They can just represent a sequence of events. So it might be represented as 1, 2, and 3 cards, or maybe the first pair and the second pair. It really depends on the cards themselves and the question or the context of the reading. So as with 1-card and 2-card readings, continue asking questions and see if you can answer them this time using 3 cards. My last tip for you is to write it down. I've alluded to this briefly earlier. It's important to write it down. Write down your card meanings, your card combination meanings, write down the interpretations that you came up with for specific readings, and see if you can make it a point to come back to them later after the cards had played out to see how they played out and how you interpreted the cards, and see if you can refine your interpretation for next time. So journaling is really important for any card reading practice, and of course it applies as much with Lenormand. I've also got a journal template that you can download for free. I'm going to link it in the description box. So these are my tips for you to help you get started with Lenormand. And remember, avoid having or using too many resources from the get-go. First, try to establish yourself a little bit with the practice, and then later on, when you have a bit of a foundation going, you can start adding more resources and getting to know different authors because you would have some kind of basis to add to. So let me know how you like my tips. And tell me what tips you had been using to practice Lenormand. And if you have struggles or challenges, let me know what they are. Maybe we'll be able to answer them in other videos. If you haven't started reading Lenormand, but you want to take that first step, then you might like my free Lenormand starter guide. It includes several of the free resources that I mentioned in this video, and it is also linked in the description box. And also have a look at my pro guides and other learning resources. I offer one of the few comprehensive programs for mastering Lenormand, so be sure to check them out. If you like this video, hit the like button, be sure to subscribe and share it with your Lenormand friends. Thank you so much for watching.